to talk about today that our data center went completely dark. Probably the scariest day in my career at that company. So just to set it up a little bit for you, we were a startup of about 35 people, 20 people in development before we were acquired by JDA Software. And we ran a fully integrated DevOps organization, which means that we didn't have any people dedicated to operations. Everyone who was in development was also in ops. And we only had one part-time IT person who was responsible for anything on the networking stack and the OS level, so patching or something like that. Everyone else who was in development was responsible for not just doing development work, but also right. There you go. All right. I'm not going to blind myself. That's excellent. So everyone who was in development was also responsible for running and maintaining the service that we were providing to our customers. So a little bit about what we were doing in terms of technology. We were a employer-to-employee service that we were providing, again, a startup. Some of our customers were really small boutique healthcare organizations, and then we also had some very large customers who were big retailers with up to 20,000 employees, as well as some public service organizations in the US, again, very large. For some of our customers, the service that we provided was an add-on, nice to have, and for some of them it was a really critical part of their business. So we also had any kind of permutation of these combinations in what we were doing. So in terms of some of the redundancy conversations that we had at Vortex, we always were very cost conscious, obviously being a startup, so we always try to be on the right side of reasonable, but just by a hair when we talk about redundancy. So just kind of summarize it in one sentence, we were flying by the seat of our pants, but in a somewhat controlled fashion. So that's kind of the setup of what we were doing at the time this happened, and kind of what we were providing. We had decided that we weren't going to have a geographically replicated service, and this was again for two reasons. One of them being cost. Obviously, this is expensive. Some of you who regularly look at your hosting bills will know that that kind of stuff does add up on a monthly cost. And also, part of our kind of competitive advantage for what we were providing as a service relied on some very carefully timed operations, which if they had to be replicated, was going to really affect our ability to have this competitive advantage in the marketplace. So we decided that we weren't going to have a geographically replicated solution. The dev organization that we had was based out of Toronto, and we also had a couple of people in Miami, and this will become important later, so keep that in mind. Our data center at the time was also in Miami, so again, important, keep that in mind, and that's kind of the setup for what happened that day. So the day that this happens is a beautiful sunny day in Toronto, and I am hopping in a cab. At the end of the workday, I'm hopping in a cab, and I get a call from our support person, so frontline support, saying our production environment is down. Something I forgot to mention is that we run a multi-tenant, truly data commingled environment. So we have 100+ customers, so if one of our customers is down, everyone is down. So this is a really big deal. So I get a call from support saying the production environment is down, and he tells me a couple of details, and then he says, and there is a bit of a twist. I can't get to the environment, so I can't RDP to it. The VPN tunnel, we're going to hear the story of a VPN tunnel that's haunted. This VPN tunnel was dead. It was just blank. He was like, I can't even get a response. There's no RDP sessions. It's the VPN tunnel is down. So I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting because it's never happened before. Like our environment, sorry to admit, has been down before, but something that actually took the VPN tunnel down with it has not happened before. So that's kind of an interesting twist. A further interesting twist is that at the time I am 8.5 months pregnant, and I'm actually in a cab to get to a hospital so that I can have the hospital tour of what's going to happen. And in a true DevOps fashion, since I already have one child, I've decided I've done this once before. It's going to be just fine. I don't need anything else besides the hospital tour. So I get a call from support, I hang up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call the person on call. There's, the lucky guy who's always on call, so I pick up the phone and I call the person who's on call, and somehow the person who's on call that day is one of the guys who's from our Miami office. So I decided to give him a ring, and then his cell phone goes from this like really weird dead phone line to really busy, and that phone line again, I can't get in touch with him, so I try to call the second person, and again, like very similar. I try to get on call with the data center, and the data center lines are just dead. Like it doesn't even no one's picking up. And I'm like, this is the nuclear meltdown. Like something really terrible has happened. At which point I start to wonder if I'm being actually pranked, because the entire organization has kind of joked about how I'm going to work until the very end. Like I'm super pregnant at the time, so I'm like, they're pranking me. Like this is like really heavily organized. So I'm in the cab, I do a quick task on my phone, and I realize, no, they're not pranking me, this is for real, like the environment's down, this is really happening. And so I hop out of the cab, which is at the time that I get the first call from one of our customers. Being a startup, a lot of our contracts had my name as an escalation point. So whenever one of our customers was running into an issue and they weren't happy with the help that they were getting from support, or they couldn't reach support, my name and my phone number were listed right there. For those of you looking at startups or wanting to look at startups, this is not a good way to have a work-life balance. You will get called in the middle of the night. Some people will be very angry, and you're going to have to pick up those calls. So this is like, hop out of the cab, I'm about to go into the hospital when I get the first really angry customer call, and it's a very large organization, and this is a service they use all the time. The person is not happy, I have to tell them that, we're looking into it, we're going to try to figure out, I'm going to give them a call back. So over the next hour, I'm in touch with the data center. I finally get in touch with the data center. They tell us, yes, our all inbound and outbound traffic into the data center is down. And then they tell me this quite gleefully, all traffic inside the data center, however, is still working. Which, for a service like ours, which relies on customers being able to reach us over the internet, and we rely on the service that relies on AWS, this is really means nothing to me, right? Like, great, there's traffic inside the data center is there, perfect. So I then continue to receive calls from a lot of customers, and I'm sort of ducking in and out of rooms. I'm trying to have this hospital tour. It's a very sort of hush kind of environment. People are trying to pay attention, and I'm taking calls. It's really, really terrible. Eventually, to figure out that this is actually this has taken out a huge chunk of southern Florida. So there is a backbone down issue, and both of the main and the backup incoming traffic into the data center are down, as is the upstream, and it's taken out a huge part of southern Florida because the national access data center in Miami is actually down because of a blown out breaker. And so eventually someone figures this out, they replace the breaker, the data center comes back up, and then our solution, of course, comes back online and everything is hunky-dory. But there's 3 lessons that we learned that day, and some of them are very small, and some of them are kind of overarching large architecture lessons. The first one is we had a really extensive monitoring solution, which was in place. But that monitoring solution did not fire because it was sitting right alongside those virtual machines that had no traffic. And so it was monitoring, it just couldn't let anyone else that something was going wrong. So if you're serious about implementing monitoring for your solution, don't put it where your service is, put it somewhere else, put it in a different data center, put it somewhere that's geographically away from it, so that your monitoring can actually prevent situations like this one. The second lesson was in this kind of great new world that we live in, when we have this N-layer architecture that we rely on services, which then in turn rely on AWS. This allows us to break that triad rule of you can have something cheap, or you can have it fast, or you can have it of good quality. You can have 2 of those, but not the 3. This new world that we live in actually allows you to get pretty close to having all 3 of those, which is an amazing time to be doing the kind of work that we do. But what we have to understand is that for each one of those, you relinquish a little bit of control, and you relinquish a little bit of your ability to fix something that's broken. In the situation that we were in, I couldn't do anything. My developers couldn't do anything, the data center couldn't do anything. The only person who could do something is that person figured out what the blown out breaker was and had to go and replace it. So that was the second lesson that, I think it's really important to kind of remember that even though we think about redundancy very often and we really rely on the people to have redundancy, very often that's not the case. Because what had happened was the data center had ordered, their main and their backbone connections to actually be on diverse paths. That was not what got provisioned. That provision was they were on the same path, and of course when that path went down, everything got brought down. The NAT had hoped that they had a replacement breaker that was going to kick in, but that didn't happen, so the redundancy there failed. So we had this multi-layer failure that caused to bring our solution down. And then the third lesson that I learned that day was that when you have large enterprise customers, it's really hard to give them the message of there's nothing I can do. You just have to wait. So that was a really difficult message that I had to convey to some really high up people that day. And they were not happy to hear it. So if you have large enterprise customers, think about that. Whatever, there's going to be a day in your future where your service is going to fail and you're going to have to convey that message. Of course, the dirty looks that I got that day at the hospital were nothing. And they were just all of the conversations that I had that day that were really difficult customer-wise were nothing compared to the dirty looks that I got trying to duck in and out and address the issues. So. Okay.